Is offer certainty, because so many brands, and not just in financial services, at the moment, because they're not sure what to say, or they're not quite sure whether to apologise to their customers, or say, you know, don't worry, or you know, they're not really sure where their customers are, they don't know what to do. So what they do is they just turn around and stop communicating. And that's a major problem, because for a lot of brands at the moment, now is when their customers are more challenged than ever before. Now is the time where they need that certainty. So we're saying communicate and offer certainty. Offer value, not low prices. The problem with recessions is everyone goes, oh yes, recession, cut my prices. The problem is everyone cuts their prices at the same time. So that message of save money or save is being communicated by so many brands in the market that it no longer communicates to anyone. We're saying don't discount what made your brand great. But one of the things everyone does in a recession is that they go through all their habits and they look at them and they go, why am I doing that? Why am I spending 5 francs a day on that? Why am I spending all this money on something I've forgotten why I'm doing it? People look at the stuff that they're doing just because it's a habit and they throw it out. So make sure your brand is being bought for a reason other than just habit. In a recession, people go through all the money they spend and they spot the stuff that's completely pointless and they throw it out, like gym memberships. Because everyone signs up for a gym at the beginning of January, and then they never go to that gym after the 1st of February. They know they do that because they've done it for the past 10 years, and therefore in a recession, they look at that and they cross the gym membership off the list of things they're going to spend money on this year. But there still are people with money. There are people who didn't take any risks with housing or with hedge funds or any of the other things that people take risks with during the good times. Those people now have money and they're going around trying to buy things. You've got to find those people, and they're not the people you were targeting last year. Those people, the people who were spending money at the height of the boom, have been overextended. They have no money left. So you may need to be very, very careful about who you're targeting. You're no longer targeting the people who take a risk on amazing new things. You're targeting the people who've been much more conservative with their money, who've looked for the real value in things in the past and who've not taken risks on things they don't understand. Educate the next generation. If you're talking investments, move on to the next generation in many ways. The people aged 14 who are currently watching High School Musical 3 or whatever, those are going to become the next generation of people who are not once bitten, twice shy, who are willing to take risks with an investment or with all sorts of things in the future. It may make sense to start educating the next generation. Thinking Spartan is great in recessions, because if you can streamline your operation in a recession when you have to, then as long as you control it well as things get better, you have a very sharp operation that can survive the entire business cycle. Innovate and cut costs at the same time. I love low-cost airlines for this. There's a classic one, the air sick bags on Ryanair. If you're not sick on the plane, you can use the air sick bag as a photo processing envelope. Purely through creative cost cutting, a service that delivers something very, very different and quite often much better than anything else other people do. In the Great Depression, Young and Rubicam, which was a small agency at the beginning of that Great Depression, hired a guy called George Gallup as the world's first advertising research director. George Gallup did studies and found that whilst 90% of advertisers were saying save money with huge starbursts, no one was reading their ads. And the ads that were being read were different ads. There were ads that were selling dreams. They were sort of offering people a bit of escape from the grind of poverty and offering ordinary consumers something different. And finally, just the point that recessions can be good for you. The nice thing about recessions is that they clear the stage. They take all the bad ideas of the last 10 or 20 years, all the stuff that hasn't quite worked, all the marketing visions that just made no sense, and they clear them all away. All you need, if you're in a depression or a recession, are some new ideas. And I guess at Young and Rubicam we're very mindful of this because we started the Great Depression as a small, bright, hot shop and then ended it as the second biggest advertising agency in America, purely because Young and Rubicam was focused on... And certainly if I look at the current recession and I look at America, the thing that everyone voted for in November last year was not a message of crisis or of practical help. It was a message of change and hope.